Welcome to Newrealities. My name is Alan Steinfeld, and on this program I'd like to explore the possibilities of who we are as an evolving, spiritually connected race on this planet, where we're going to, and how the nature of our perceptions about reality are changing. Today's guest is someone who's devoted a lot of time and energy into explaining the process of this evolution, and he's the channel for Bashar. Darryl Anka is the guest, and he will be channeling Bashar, who is a consciousness from another time and space. So I'm very excited about that possibility of doing this channeling right as we see it live. But let me talk to Darryl. Hey, Darryl.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. So you've been channeling for Bashar for
24 years.
24 years. And what I'm curious about is the process of what you do to tap into that other place in order to bring this entity through. Could just describe that.
Yeah, the connection process, as I understand it, is kind of a telepathic contact, and what I've been trained to do is change the frequency of my own brain waves to be something closer to the level on which they exist, and at the same time Bashar will do the same thing from his end, so that somewhere in the middle the brainwave frequencies meet and lock together. And what you then get is his thoughts translating into the language that I obviously was raised to understand, which is English. He's not speaking, he's just sending thoughts, but I'm translating that because our wavelengths are synchronized.
But how do you actually make that shift to go there?
Well, in the beginning, when I was being trained, it was a matter of going through different kinds of meditational exercises in order to learn how to get the brain waves to shift that way. At this point, 24 years later, it's a very automatic thing. As soon as I just open myself up to that connection, the process just now happens automatically, and it just takes me to that level.
So just before we go into the channel, so you sort of relax into yourself, you would say?
Yeah, it's kind of, for me, it's like falling into kind of a daydream state. And when Bashar is coming through, I don't so much hear the words in much the same way that if you were having a daydream, you might not hear somebody come into the room and call your name, or the words would sound like they're a million miles away. I have my own experience, which is sometimes energetic. Sometimes I'll feel maybe the emotionality of the concept that's being discussed. I might get abstract images. I don't always know how those images relate to what is being discussed, but I know the concept that's being discussed will sink into my consciousness in whatever way I might need to use it in my life, but the words are completely secondary, and when I come out of it, it's like waking up from a dream. The whole thing just fades, and I don't really know what was said.
One more question before you go into. Do you ever play with those states of consciousness in a sense where you may just experiment and sort of go there, but hold a little back just to observe your own
Well,
mind?
I think channeling is a natural state that everyone can do and everyone does from time to time. Anytime you become involved in anything you love to do and you get lost in that moment, that's a channeling state. So I certainly use that state creatively in my own work, in film and art and things like that. So I think everyone does that, and I'll certainly use it in that context. And sometimes, rarely, I might open up to just get a download, let's say, from higher levels or from Bashar for something I may want to specifically know about, but I don't use it for that as often as I just use it for my own creative expression.
So it's been fun these last few years?
Yeah, it's been a terrific ride.
You don't feel like you've missed a part because some channels complain like, I'm not there?
No, well, no. I mean, there were times when I was channeling so much that it was kind of like I didn't have a life, and I wasn't really grounded here. I was kind of like sort of dizzy half the time, and I just learned to regulate myself because it's equally important for the channel to learn and grow from this experience as it is for the people that the information is being delivered to. Right. So it's important for the channel to also take the time to have a life and incorporate that information.
Great, great, thank you.
So, ready?
Can you just could you talk as you do it? Is it possible you can't talk us through it? So we can all get there ourselves.
No, sorry.
No, okay, so do your thing. I mean,
all right.
But could you just describe a little bit where you put your mind before you actually go in there?
Well, again, at this point, all I really am doing is just relaxing in a way that just opens me up to whatever is going to connect. It's the best thing I can do is just describe it as a state of total trust. It's like you're putting yourself kind of in someone else's hands for a moment and just letting that energy take over the driver's seat.
Yeah. It's so exciting to watch because it's as if at some point someone grabs the back of your neck and sort of yanks you.
The energy will align my body
Yeah.
in order to make sure that it is where it needs to be supported. The breathing will change and everything to add extra oxygen to support the extra energy. So everything that's happening is simply an automatic side effect of the need for my body to be able to sustain that state in a way that doesn't exhaust me. It actually energizes me at the end. So,
Thanks. Okay.
Sure.
And try this at home.
Or do try this at home.
Try it at home. Okay. Thanks. This is exciting. I don't think anyone's ever actually channeled on the program during the interview, but no, go ahead.
I'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for being here.
It is our pleasure always to co-create these transmissions with each and every one of you. For in doing so, we are allowed to experience through all of you different facets of the multidimensional crystal of all that is. It also forms a link and a bridge between your reality and ours and creates and generates a third reality in which we may all one day interact more closely. So we thank you for this opportunity and we thank you for this gift and we invite you to commence in whatever way, shape, or form your imagination so desires. What would you like to discuss this day?
Well,